In the rural hills of western Pennsylvania lies a collection of church relics that historians still struggle to trace. Across 17 different congregations, stretching from Philadelphia to frontier settlements, small bone fragments and preserved flesh rest inside ornate reliquaries, their origins lost to time and deliberate deception. Between 1745 and 1792, over 73 individuals vanished from these communities, devout men, women, and, most disturbingly, orphaned children, all later declared saints by local religious leaders. Few know that a sealed record in the Philadelphia Historical Society holds the testimonies of 3 witnesses who uncovered the truth. The Whitmore family workshop, where human bodies were processed into holy relics for nearly 5 decades. The manuscript has remained sealed for centuries at the request of the churches involved. But through careful research, I've uncovered the horrifying truth that religious authorities have desperately tried to suppress. Before we continue with the story of the Whitmore family's gruesome enterprise, hit the subscribe button if you're brave enough to hear historical horrors few channels dare to reveal. Let me know in the comments what state you're listening from. Perhaps your local church holds secrets you never imagined. Now, let's delve deeper into this disturbing chapter of American religious history. The true horror of what happened in those Pennsylvania woods goes far beyond what most historians acknowledge, affecting communities whose descendants still worship in those same churches today. In the mid-18th century, Pennsylvania existed as a unique religious haven, while Quakers dominated Philadelphia with their plain meeting houses and emphasis on inner light. The Western territories saw a mix of Protestant denominations, Presbyterian, Lutheran, and smaller Christian sects, each building modest wooden churches as they pushed further into frontier lands taken from native peoples. The Whitmore family arrived from England in 1742, settling in Chester County, about 30 miles west of Philadelphia, where rolling hills gave way to dense forests and scattered farms. Nathaniel Whitmore, a stern-faced man with piercing gray eyes and a trimmed beard, presented himself as a skilled craftsman of religious items, chalices, communion plates, and ornate Bible covers that quickly gained favor among wealthier congregations. His workshop, a 2-story timber structure on 12 wooded acres, featured large windows flooding the main floor with light. There, he received ministers and church elders who commissioned his increasingly sought-after work. His wife, Elizabeth, a slender woman with delicate hands and an unnerving ability to remain expressionless, managed their household and 4 children with a precision neighbors found admirable. If cold. The Whitmores attended Sunday services at Harmony Meeting House, a modest Quaker gathering where they sat quietly, occasionally offering measured testimonies that impressed the congregation. Their eldest son, Thomas, assisted in the workshop, while daughters Mary and Sarah helped their mother. The youngest, William, a frail boy with unsettling intensity, often wandered the woods, returning with plants and small animal specimens he preserved in his room, a hobby his parents encouraged as scientific. Chester County faced the usual hardships of colonial life, harsh winters, crop failures, and frontier tensions, but it was also a time of religious fervor. The Great Awakening had swept through the colonies, leaving heightened spiritual competition. Churches sought distinction through doctrine and the quality of their artifacts, positioning the Whitmores perfectly. Nathaniel's craftsmanship set him above competitors, and by 1745, his workshop expanded to include 2 apprentices, Jacob Miller, an orphaned German immigrant son, and Peter Collins, a quiet young man from Philadelphia. The family lived comfortably, gaining a reputation for piety that masked what happened behind closed doors after sunset. In late autumn, 1745, Mary Collins, a Quaker woman known for healing the poor, vanished while traveling home. Her disappearance was blamed on Indian attacks or wild animals, but she was actually the first victim of a horrifying enterprise that would continue undetected for nearly 50 years. On November 17, 1745, during an early winter storm, Mary Collins, past the Whitmore property. Nathaniel emerged, claiming his son William was lost in the woods. Mary, ever kind, followed him into a clearing, toward the workshop's rear entrance. Thomas Whitmore's later deathbed confession, hidden in a Philadelphia prison cell, revealed the truth. Father said her saintliness made her perfect. God had revealed a great purpose to bring holiness through sacred vessels. Mary's body was processed over 3 days. Nathaniel, having studied preservation techniques, taught Thomas how to treat human tissue with salt and herbs. Elizabeth sewed black velvet pouches embroidered with golden symbols. Father said we were doing God's work, Thomas wrote. Protestant churches lacked relics like the Catholics. We would provide them. 2 weeks later, Nathaniel returned from Philadelphia with commissions and money. At the next Quaker meeting, he presented an altar box in Mary's honor unbeknownst to them. It concealed a piece of her dot by 1750. The workshop had doubled in size. 5 apprentices crafted legitimate items, unaware of the cellar where the real work happened. The family built a stone and timber home, their wealth growing with each disappearance, visiting preachers, elderly women, those easily explained away as victims of frontier dangers. Elizabeth developed the discernment, claiming God revealed which souls were destined for sainthood. Nathaniel convinced ministers that Protestant churches needed relics, just not Catholic ones. His network spread, with churches reporting miracles from ancient European relics, unaware they held remains of their own neighbors. In 1753, Dr. Samuel Winters of Lancaster questioned a relic's age before vanishing. His asterisk 12th century healers. Fingerbone asterisk surfaced in a New York church the next month. As the colonies moved toward revolution, the Whitmores thrived, supplying churches amid trade shortages. By the war's end, they saw a new market: orphans. In 1782, 10-year-old Joseph Miller disappeared from a Philadelphia asylum. Months later, the Church of St. Michael reported miracles from a child martyr's heart. William had suggested children there. Innocence made more powerful relics. Between 1782 to 1785, at least 16 orphans vanished. Child relics sold for 5 times the price of adults. In 1785, Quaker minister Elijah Thompson investigated Catholic-like relic worship, tracing patterns to Nathaniel. He visited Chester County. Nathaniel showed his public workshop, but Thompson noticed inconsistencies in his European sources. As Thompson dug deeper, his notes vanished. He was poisoned at a dinner, but survived. Meanwhile, apprentice Daniel Foster, sickened by processing a child's body, fled with a journal documenting the horrors. He found Thompson, describing the cellar where bodies hung like butchered animals, preserved with surgical precision. Before Thompson could act, a fire destroyed Foster's evidence. Foster's remains later surfaced in the Delaware River. By 1787, Sarah Whitmore, consumed by guilt, secretly met Thompson, revealing the ledger detailing every victim in church. She provided a map to the underground chambers. Asterisk when Sarah didn't return, William and Elizabeth fled to a mine shaft with remaining relics. Nathaniel, ill, was captured. On February 13, 1788, Thompson raided the workshop during a snowstorm. Thomas led them underground, where they found dissected bodies, an archive of hundreds of labeled remains, and Elizabeth's ledger. William and Elizabeth were found dead in a cabin, having poisoned themselves after a ritual. Thomas was hanged after confessing to 79 adults and 22 children processed since 1745. Authorities, fearing public panic, sealed the records. Churches were discreetly told the truth. Some buried the relics, but at least 17 kept them, believing the miracles justified their use. Sarah, given a new identity, lived in Boston, dedicating her life to orphans. "I cannot undo what my family wrought," she wrote before her 1823 death. The workshop was burned, the land sold. Yet rumors persisted some relics remained in churches, their origins forgotten. In 1879, A courthouse fire nearly exposed the case. In 1923, Thompson's hidden records were found at the Pennsylvania Historical Society, but kept restricted. A 1967 survey found 11 churches still holding Whitmore relics, many unaware. The last confirmed relic, a child's remains, was buried in 2005. Today, locals avoid the old Harmony Meeting House, claiming unease after dark. Some say the workshop's outline glows on November nights, the anniversary of Mary Collins' death. If this tale chilled you, share it, subscribe, and ponder. What relics in your town hold dark secrets?